So here we are in 2022, and I'm still getting that same question from pretty much everybody that I talk to. Just about everybody everywhere is wondering about the Florida housing market forecast for the coming year and if we're in a real estate bubble that's about to burst. So are we looking at a housing bubble and impending doom, or are housing prices going to continue to head straight up like a rocket? Well, stick around for a minute because that's what I'm talking about today. Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Frost, and I'm a real estate agent in Ocala, Florida. And I'm here every Tuesday to talk about all things real estate in the Ocala and Marion County, Florida area. Well, I don't know about the rest of the country, but we're still cooking right along here in the Ocala, Marion County housing market. Home prices are high, inventory is low, and we're still getting a huge influx of home buyers looking to relocate to our area. In fact, several different reports show that the Sun Belt states like South Carolina, Texas, and Florida are proving really attractive to a whole lot of Americans as home prices continue to rise. Probably because of the overall availability of jobs here and our low taxes, not to mention our great weather and wonderful people. On a more national level, United Van Lines listed South Carolina and Florida as their top two states that people are heading to. And U-Haul and Zillow both say that Texas and Florida are their hottest areas for relocation. Zillow also reported last week that the Sun Belt states are going to continue to stay at their top of the list for the hottest housing markets for the second year in a row, and they're predicting that U.S. housing prices will rise about 14% nationally. Of course, you gotta remember that Zillow just had to shutter their doors on their home buying division because they were losing money hand over fist. They admitted that they had drastically overestimated the rate of increase in home values, and not only were they having a hard time selling their homes at a profit, they pretty much lost money on most of them. So maybe take their opinion with a little grain of salt. Probably a closer estimate of future home prices would be from Lawrence Yun, chief economist of the National Association of Realtors. He's predicting that nationwide home prices are going to rise a little more moderately this year, going up about 5.7% as opposed to Zillow's 14%. Now that number represents the country as a whole, so I would kind of expect that locally we're going to see an increase somewhere north of that, probably a good bit north, like in the double digits, maybe 10%. Now, most of the experts pretty much agree that the demand for housing is going to stay strong throughout 2022, largely due to the influx of millennial home buyers, 45 million of which fall into that prime first-time home buyer age of between 26 and 35, and also due to the availability of remote work, so more and more people are able to move wherever they want to live, regardless of where they actually work. So you can count on the market staying pretty competitive for the foreseeable future, especially here. Year-round sunshine, relatively low cost of living, and low taxes make Ocala pretty much an ideal spot for relocating to. But before you throw your hands up in the air and give up all hope of actually buying a home in 2022, there are a couple of factors that should help temper the market during the next year. The two major ones are interest rates and inventory. The current consensus is that the Fed will raise interest rates about 3 times during the coming year, and will probably end the year somewhere around 3.7%. But 3.7% is still really low when you consider historical interest rates, so that's hardly going to be a deal breaker for most folks when it comes to buying a home. It will definitely impact how much home you can buy though, so buying earlier rather than later is probably something you ought to consider if you're looking for a new home. But overall, rates shouldn't be a deal breaker for most people. And in addition to rising interest rates, it's expected that more homeowners will put their homes on the market in order to take advantage of the high prices. And in turn, the increase in home inventory should help temper the rise in pricing just a bit. So we probably won't see the exponential growth in pricing that we saw last year. More available homes means fewer bidding wars and fewer multiple offer situations, both of which are a large part of the driving force behind rising home prices. Pretty much all reports indicate that it'll still be a seller's market through 2022, but buyers are going to have a little bit more leverage overall. So I think it's safe to say that we're not in a housing bubble and home prices are not going to fall off that cliff that so many people are worried about. But what does it all mean for buyers and for sellers? Well, if you're planning on buying a home in the next year, there's some hope on the horizon. Your options should grow as more homes get listed and some of the competition that we've been dealing with slacks up a little. But keep in mind that home prices are going to keep rising and so will interest rates. So it's probably in your best interest to buy sooner rather than later. And if you're a seller, yeah, we're still going to be in a solid seller's market during 2022, and home prices are going to keep climbing even if they aren't climbing as fast as before. So you're kind of in the catbird seat. But don't hold out too long trying to game the market. As home inventory rises, your advantage drops in proportion. The more homes that become available, the fewer your chances are of your home really standing out from the crowd and generating those multiple offers that everybody's after. So don't wait too long and miss your window of opportunity. Now, as always, if you want to stay in the loop and keep up to date with what's happening in the Ocala and Marion County, Florida real estate market and real estate in general, just take a minute to hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell. Because I do this every week, or most of them anyway, and you don't want to miss anything.